Question from Tony College. What are the top two skills that you have intentionally developed that have benefited you the most in your life and or career? Great question, and I started brainstorming it, and I had a hard time narrowing it down to two, and I ended up with two of them that they might actually just be one of them. I don't know, but first is copywriting, the ability to communicate to people so that they care, so that they want to buy what you've got. The other one is positioning, and positioning is how people in the industry see you, whether it's your clients, your future clients, your potential partners, other influencers. How do they see you? And when I think about this, it's like with copy, the mistake I see a lot of people make is that they fall into this belief that people actually care about what they're talking about. So you need to channel your inner teenager. You know, the teenager that when you're talking to them, they just roll their eyes. It's like, you are so boring and I just don't care. That's what you have to channel. You have to, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. I'm talking about your prospects, the people on your list, the people that are following you in social. They don't care. They're too busy. They have too much going on. You're nothing but an interruption, a distraction. Now, I'm not trying to depress you. I'm just trying to impress on you that you have to look at everything you put out, every message you put out through that lens. You have to earn their attention. You have to earn their trust. Every single line, if you send an email, every single line has to pull them deeper into it. You have to think about what is your most wanted response anytime you put a piece of content out there. What do you want people to do? And what are the breadcrumbs you can take them from grabbing their attention and pulling them into your story and then showing them why whatever you have to offer is a benefit and taking them right down the path to get the click that you want, to take them wherever you want, to do whatever you want, knowing that you have to show them why it's important for them to drop everything. For their kids are in the background screaming, their spouse wants their attention, their parents need their help, their community's dying for them, but they need to stop right now to pay attention to your message. And this is the essence of marketing, and I think people, they either fall in love with their positioning, or I'm sorry, they fall in love with their offer, they fall in love with their message, and they forget that you have to earn people's attention and you have to hold people's attention, and they're too busy and they don't care. And this is an art form and you have to work at it, and no one is born knowing how to do this. So this is a skill I've been intentionally developing for more than a quarter century, and it's made all the difference. Your marketing matters, because until you can bring someone into your world and get them truly involved and get them to click and get them to pull out their wallet and buy from you, you are not going to get the life you want, the business you want, and create the impact you want. So that's all copy. Copywriting, and when I say copywriting, it could be writing emails, it could be writing a sales letter, it could be writing a script, or it could be just turning on the camera and being extemporaneous. It's all copy. And one of the things I like to say, a phrase, I don't know if I invented this or not, I feel like I did, but I probably didn't, and it's that, you'll hear me say this a lot, that it's a copy problem. If you're having a hard time communicating the benefits or why someone should do something, it's a copy problem, and it's a problem to be solved. But it can nearly always be solved. It's a skill you have to develop. It's a skill that I've developed. My product launch formula program, in essence, what it does is it takes copywriting for an entire campaign and turns it into a formula, and that's why it's been so successful over all these years. So that's probably, I don't know if that's the most important skill I've ever learned or developed, but it's close to being the most important. And if you're anyone in business, it's absolutely critical. Whether you're doing the copy yourself, the copywriting yourself, or you're paying someone to do it, you have to be able to recognize what's great copy. And then I talked also about positioning. And positioning is very, very, very related to copy. It's like how the world sees you. And you can go out and design that. I think you want to be seen as an expert. You want to be seen as a go-to expert. You want to be seen as someone who gets results for people. Now, within that, there's all kinds of different personalities that can be part of your positioning. But I always want to be seen as the top of my market, as a premier teacher, trainer, consultant, coach, and helping people build their businesses. And so that comes into, what you have to do is you have to be, I like to think of it as stepping outside of myself, like literally teleporting outside of myself and being able to look down at the situation and look at myself and see how I'm being perceived by the other party, whether they're a prospect that I want to buy my product, whether they're already a client and I want to impress on them what they need to do to get results, or whether it's a potential partner who I'm asking to promote, or it's someone that I want to be on their podcast or on their stage or whatever. You have to look at that positioning, and everything you're doing is either building positioning or detracting from your positioning. That's one to write down. That's one to go ahead and tweet. Everything you do is either building your positioning or hurting your positioning. And you have to look at the messages you're putting out into the world, the social, the emails, the offers you're making, how you show up at events, how you show up on broadcast, and all those things are either building you as the go-to person in your market, or they're making people look and say, do they really know what they're talking about? Is that like, what's going on there? Like a classic example, back in the day when we used to all have business cards, I went to an event and there was someone that they were giving out business cards that said they were a wealth coach. And then you flipped over the business card and the back of the business card said, this card printed for free at vistaprint.com. And you're like, okay, on one side it says they're a wealth coach. On the other side says they can't afford to pay for business cards, that they had to get free business cards. That's degrading positioning. That's what I mean when I say everything is either building your positioning or degrading your positioning. So there's a lot of skills I've developed over these years that I've intentionally developed, but those are two big ones, copy and positioning. And let's go get them this week.